Hey, hey. All right. So, Virgos, let's go ahead and we're just going to take a peek at what's ahead in love for Virgo. Whatever that may be, we're going to keep this a little succinct, a little straightforward, and we'll just take a peek. Nine of Wands. So, Virgo could be kind of coming down to their last good nerve when it comes to love, but we have healing. So, I think Virgo first is there've been plenty of wounds, but the one thing that is great about a Nine of Wands is that we only need one more, and then we're done with something and we can let it go. And so I said it's like I'm getting down to my last good nerve, but on one hand, that's kind of terrific because what we see is Virgo is going to have some very restorative sleep, and they could start to really feel cleansed and healed from something that was very painful for quite a while. Three of Cups. Virgo's love story, although they need a bit of a breather before love starts up again for them, but I think Virgo is going to wind up possibly finding love with somebody that they already think of as like a friend or somebody that really fits into their world a bit. We have a Page of Cups. We have the Judgment card. There could be a really important dialogue coming up. There could be an apology. This could be, you notice that we do have, with the Three of Cups, we have more than one person here. So Virgo could end up having a very important conversation to either close a chapter with someone and like really wrap something up. It may happen after Virgo's already healed from it, but we do have an apology and some kind of like, okay, I can let this go. In fact, we can end this now maybe as friends, or just to say, yeah, I did love that person, but I also move on. Six of Swords to the Emperor. That is why Virgo has two people on the horizon. So first in this story, what we have is where Virgo seems to be at in the first like immediate future is I'm healing from the things that have been, stressful and difficult. And as I kind of step back, and I don't know, I'm picturing this could be like 4 weeks or something where Virgo just kind of like keeps to themselves, takes care of their needs, heals, rests, relaxes, and then they have a really meaningful conversation with someone who is still in their energetic sphere, probably the person they've been healing from. It feels like Virgo has, ended something with somebody, but like there's still one last conversation to be had. But it needed to have a delay before this conversation would happen. And maybe this person has a bunch of truths to tell Virgo. This could be a Scorpio, does not have to be. They don't want Virgo to think poorly of them. But it allows Virgo to really get some closure and possibly to really forgive them and to move on from them so Virgo can meet an emperor. That's the quick hit. Let me see if we get any specifics on this, especially with there is a very important conversation happening after Virgo's already like balanced out their energy, feels, a certain amount of healing. Actually, this feels like the wrong deck. Let's use this one. Who is the person who has something to say to Virgo? Ace of Cups. They are somebody who really loved Virgo. Still maybe really loves Virgo. What is the thing that you need to say? What is this truthful conversation? The Fool, the Four of Pentacles has much to do with, I feel like this person either had an identity crisis, they held back, they couldn't figure out who to be, they wanted Virgo, they do love Virgo. They may even need to tell Virgo that there is something impulsive about them or that sometimes they go into, like identity crisis mode. But their communication to Virgo is that they really do love Virgo. But I think that they're coming clean about something in regards to themselves. It's going to allow Virgo to realize they loved me to the capacity that they could. This card it says everything to me, which is they are maybe still like a little kid in a grown-up's world, and maybe they want to convey that. I feel like this is somebody who's impulsive, somebody who has trouble making decisions about who they are or what path to take in life, and they may just want to tell Virgo, like, I mean, I know it's very cliche where it's like, it's not you, it's me. They want to let Virgo know that in this scenario, that really is the case. They genuinely do love Virgo. They do have an impulsive streak. They also have then a streak of like inability to figure out what to do right after they do something impulsive. Then they also don't know how to like step up to the plate and like mature into the role that they chose. They're telling Virgo all of this. And I think it's going to really like make sense, especially if this person was confusing to Virgo. And if that's why Virgo had the, like the real fatigue, because it feels like Virgo was just crashed out, burned out, exhausted from a love story that kept hurting Virgo. You see how many times we have the clothing is all shredded, and it's like, I want to be done with this. And I think Virgo goes silent and retreats from this person as if it's already over. And it is, but they, to their credit, they want to tell Virgo some truths that Virgo didn't know about them, or some things that might, I mean, honestly, for what it's worth, they really did love Virgo. I don't know that this person has a capacity to change. They might be saying, now I have changed, Virgo. I'm not like, I'm not impulsive, and then an inability to be like a mature grown up and know which path I'm taking. Maybe I've changed. I don't see this as Virgo getting back with them though. We see Virgo like saying, hey, it's okay. Let me just ask, what is Virgo's reaction going to be to that? Because it feels like a conversation that actually promotes closure. Four of Swords, Action of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. It almost looks like Virgo says, look, I've been healing a lot, and honestly, I wish you healing as well. You're racing toward me now in the 11th hour when I've been healing from everything that happened with us. And I know you're saying that you really still want this and you really still want me, but I think it might be because you actually still have more healing to do. And I'm not mad about that. It just feels like Virgo is really going to be able to wish them well, but I don't think Virgo wants to tango with them anymore. I see instead Virgo really laying this down and saying, it's all right. It's okay. I can let you go. And I'm not mad, and you don't have to feel sad or bad or anything like that. Let me just ask one final message for them. How do you handle this? Because I don't see Virgo taking you back. It's so crazy because maybe they just now became a genuine grown up. I mean, they really did love Virgo, and maybe they really do love Virgo more than they'll ever love anybody. But I don't see Virgo thinking that this is something that they want. Let me just say, Virgo, will you understand that this person, I mean, they genuinely love you, Virgo. 10 of Coins. Yeah. And Virgo says, and I'll never forget them. We have the elephants here. I really, really loved them too. I did. For, you know what, maybe we're ending things really great because maybe the ending of us was better than any of the time we ever spent together. I will never forget them. They were very important to me, even though it feels like Virgo was just drained and, chopped up over this whole thing again and again and again. Yet we get closure here. We get real peace here from what I can tell. And it almost could be like, if you ever need anything, Virgo, you can always call me. I will always love you. It does feel like that coming from that King of Cups. But we still saw Virgo saying, I know, and it's sad that just now is the time that you're ready. Just now is the time that you're a King of Cups. I mean, it is kind of sad, but I was out there on my own for far too long. And now I've moved beyond this, but it's okay. It's okay. Let me get one card here for Virgo on that Six of Swords. Because if we saw a card of Virgo wanting to turn this back around, I would say it, but I don't see it. No, Wheel of Fortune says Virgo goes off in a new direction. Even here, it's like I am, it's like the handoff. I'm taking my energy away from one person in order to give myself to somebody new. I'm ready for something else. 8 of Wands, 6 of Coins. Virgo is really ready for a new beginning, but in a new direction. I don't know if Virgo is suddenly going to start talking to, obviously we have an Emperor that we haven't gotten to yet, but if Virgo is going to be taking off in a new direction, first off, I feel like there's a real sense of spiritual cleansing going on for Virgo. There's a real sense of, I'm ready for a very different kind of relationship, even though that person of the past that I will never forget, in some ways, breaking up and being done with them and having a conversation after we're already done was possibly the most valuable thing Virgo ever had with that King of Cups, was their final conversation after it was already too late to fix things. Somehow that was the most valuable part of that relationship, knowing that in spite of everything, this person loved Virgo for what it's worth. That seems to be the thing that is able to propel Virgo forward and say that's what that relationship was about. You know what? We finished it, and we finished it nicely. And the truth of it is, I'm too fatigued to go back to them. I don't want that anymore. But you know what? It ended great. Melancholy that it couldn't have been great at the beginning, but maybe we weren't supposed to be together permanently. I think I'm supposed to be with someone else. So it is Virgo, like moving ahead, and there's this very spiritual sense of I feel like I can see my future, and I think it's up ahead, which brings us to the Emperor. The Emperor is that second energy that is in that hula hoop on the Three of Cups card, right? This kind of feels like Virgo is ending a storyline with a soulmate and starting a storyline with a whole different soulmate. Five of Cups on the Emperor. Why has this Emperor been bummed? Queen of Wands, Four of Swords. This Emperor could have been waiting for a while for Virgo to finish their healing. This Emperor has possibly been like, man, if that Virgo's ever available, who is the Queen of Wands? Is that Virgo? Who's the Queen of Wands to them? The World card, the Star. I'm going to say yes. They have been very bummed, waiting for Virgo to be healed, waiting for Virgo to really leave behind the memory of that previous person, waiting to see, is Virgo ever going to distance themselves from that connection that they had in the past. So this feels like an Emperor who has known of Virgo. Emperor, let me ask a little bit more about you, because this is somebody who's known Virgo. Three of Swords and the Page of Pentacles sideways. They could have been the shoulder that Virgo has cried on. This could be a friend who wanted to be more than that, or this could just be somebody that, they were like, oh man, I can't possibly ask Virgo out now, not when, I've sensed or I feel or I've been told point blank that they're going through something. They know more about Virgo than what they've let on. And they have held their tongue and not tried to, push something with Virgo. Definitely held their tongue and waited. We have that Hanged Man. Yeah, patience, delay, Page of Cups. They thought about Virgo, especially possibly during Valentine's Day. This could be somebody who is wanted, very much wanted a chance to interact with Virgo. They thought a lot even about either asking Virgo out for Valentine's Day or checking up on Virgo around Valentine's Day, and they probably thought better of it and didn't. How is Virgo going to interact? Actually, let's change decks. How is Virgo going to interact with this king? Or excuse me, Emperor. The Lovers. Virgo could find themselves bumping into this person some evening, someplace. Remember, Virgo's starting to, like, their energy is coming back. They're starting to feel better. Virgo could go someplace by themselves and they ain't going home alone. This could happen fairly swiftly. Like, Virgo starts to see this person differently. I'm hearing that song. I think there's something there that wasn't there before from Beauty and the Beast, just because I guess of that card there. But there's an energy where Virgo, Four of Wands, Nine of Wands, Virgo is going to realize, man, I was wounded over that other person for a long time. And here, this Emperor has been like this incredible person. How did I not see this before? We keep getting some, obviously this is a deck that has a lot of, Twilight imagery, but it still keeps feeling like Virgo's going to bump into this Emperor at, possibly, this looks like some kind of an event. Maybe this is going to be around the Chinese New Year, with all of these lanterns all lit. I don't know. There's a very celebratory energy on this Four of Wands. If Virgo's going to bump into this Emperor, I think that's where the spark is going to be lit. And I think that's where Virgo's like, oh my God, I was letting go of somebody else for a really long time, finally got the closure on that. And now, there's this lovely Emperor, and they seem to be amazing. This is going to be a really nice surprise, I think, but also, like, I'm going to say an awakening with Virgo. King of Pentacles. I think Virgo is going to realize that this emperor character is someone who has a really solid countenance. Virgo still may not realize that this person is an emperor. Now, that emperor could be, maybe they are like a business owner and they have a lot to do, but the energy that they show to Virgo is like so consistent, so solid. Like Virgo, I think immediately feels a comfort zone with this person. King of Wands, a comfort zone, a companionship, and also some kind of growing attraction pretty swiftly. This is like the person who's been hidden in plain sight all this time. Virgo had to finish out like this emotional journey with somebody else first, though. And as that happens, that is why we get finally an opportunity for this amazing emperor storyline. And they've been bummed for a while, wishing that Virgo was single for a while. But you know what? You can't rush somebody's closure with somebody else. And I really do think in this story, it said Virgo had to go through the entire closure, walking away on their own terms, choosing not to reconcile with somebody, even though now they wanted to reconcile with Virgo. Virgo had to be that done to cross that bridge so that they could now have their heart back and they could be ready to meet this emperor and, well, to interact with this emperor. I think Virgo already knew that emperor, but Virgo was not available until now, or until this plays out in the upcoming future. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.